I still can't believe nobody's talking about this, but when I was first watching the Yoshi and the Mysterious Book trailer, I noticed something very weird. I saw these really weird symbols written throughout a bunch of levels and even on Mr. E's pages. Now this actually really reminded me of the banana bet from Donkey Kong Bonanza. Basically, Nintendo hid secret messages throughout the game, and people actually ended up decoding this. So I thought to myself, maybe I could be the one to decode this Yoshi language. So I began to study the game trailer and write down as many unique symbols as I could find. So at the end of that, I ended up with about 19 symbols. Now, you might think to yourself, I thought there was 26 letters of the alphabet, but this actually makes sense. First of all, there was a couple symbols I couldn't tell if they were new or just poorly rendered. And secondly, you're probably not going to find letters like Z, X, V, etc. And after looking a little bit harder, I ended up finding 3 more symbols, leaving me with 21. So then I moved on to step 2 of decoding this language. I began to look for small sequences of symbols that could equal certain words. My range here was kind of between 3 to 7 symbols long, but at this point, I'm basically the only person trying to decode this language. So I'm basically starting from scratch, and I have no idea what any of these mean. I'm basically guessing what these words mean using context clues and plugging in letters to specific symbols. So when I kept watching the trailer, I realized once Yoshi made a discovery, it actually drew a little picture of it. And as you can see right here, every once in a while there'll be a little bit of text there. So I went with these 3 symbols. Then I realized at the end of this phrase is an exclamation point, so I realized it's something like ouch or ah. And then I listened to the commentator a little bit closer and realized she might have given me the answer.
Let's ground pound here. Hey, a sprout popped out.
There we go, this sequence of symbols might actually mean hey. But I still wasn't 100% sure, so I still remembered that this could be wrong. Now after this, don't get me wrong, I was really excited that I made my first discovery, but after this, honestly, I was kinda stumped. I tried plugging in H, E, and even Y into certain symbols, and I couldn't discover anything. Nothing was adding up and it didn't make any sense. But then I remembered, I'm forgetting the entire last half of this video, so I watched the last 10 seconds. And this is the best thing that could have happened when I watched it. Basically, the commentator was talking about how amiibos give you fortunes in the game. And as she said that, a piece of paper showed on the screen. And then it clicked. I realized that if this sequence of symbols is 7 letters long, I could unlock 7 new letters. So I nervously counted the symbols and realized I was right. This is 7 symbols long. Meaning that I had just unlocked F, O, R, T, U, N, and E. That's 3 vowels. That is so much progress. I was so excited. So I began to try finding as many sequences of symbols as I could. But I was honestly really confused after plugging in a bunch of these letters and nothing adding up. I then ended up deciding that this symbol either meant I or A. The reason for this is this symbol was all alone, meaning it was a 1-letter word, and the only 2 1-letter words in the English dictionary is I and A, meaning it could only be those 2. But after plugging in different combinations of letters and symbols, nothing made any sense and I was at complete confusion. And I ended up finding 2 letters that were right next to each other that shouldn't be next to each other. For example, let's just say like F and G. It didn't make any sense. And then I tried plugging in letters to this sequence of symbols which I originally thought meant hey and realized I was completely wrong. So then I came to the realization that unless Nintendo made some words mean things and other words not mean anything and just be there for decoration, I don't think I'll be able to translate this. So I decided to take a break from this because honestly I don't think I'm going to find any new discoveries as it is. But when the game comes out, if there's any new information on the secret language, I might try again. So if you have any suggestions, please let me know in the comments because I'm really curious to see what your opinions are on this. So anyways, I will be making a series on this game when it comes out on the 21st. Please stay tuned to that and I appreciate you staying to the end of the video. See you guys. Bye.